What's up, you guys? Anthony here. Welcome back to another video. And in this video, I want to show you my step-by-step process for creating high-converting advertorials with AI in less than 10 minutes. And this is going to be what I call the absolute gooner method, because if you like ripping content, if you like ripping organic TikToks, if you like AI UGC, if you like ripping Callow data stuff, you are going to love this method because it involves a lot of copy pasting, but I can't deny that it works. So stick around until the end of this video, because again, if you watch it all the way through to the end, you're going to learn this exact step-by-step process of writing high converting advertorials that literally anyone, as long as you have two thumbs and a laptop and a Wi-Fi connection, can do. And that's all you need to get to your first $1,000 day. Now, really quick, reason why I can make a claim like that is because we literally run the #1 beginner dropshipping community on the planet. It doesn't come close. Join any other community, find any other beginner community. You will not see the number of win posts that we have compared to God Tier Ecom. So shout out to Sean. I just want to give him a huge shout out because this dude joined an 8K mentorship program. Who is charging $8,000 for mentorship? Anyways, he joined an 8K mentorship program for 4 months, and then nothing worked. Okay, he was losing money, joined the community, and now he's up to not just $1,000 a day. This guy is crushing $2,000, close to $2,000 a day. Okay, and I'm going to teach you exactly what guys like Sean are doing inside of God Tier Ecom, and how to write epic advertorials. So let's do it. All right. So first thing that you need if you want to write an advertorial is, and the first step in this process is #1, firstly, find a high converting advertorial. Now, there's no foolproof guaranteed way to do this outside of just spending hours inside of ad library and doing research. The more research that you do, the more advertorials you're going to find. But generally speaking, if you're using a spy tool like Get Hooked, which is one that I recommend because they're the cheapest and they work the best, then it's really not that difficult to find one. So all you need to do typically is type in some type of pain point. So what I'm going to do is type in a pain point like, let's just go with cat allergies, okay? So once I type in a pain point, if I could actually spell it properly, that is going to filter my results to anything, or any ad rather, with the term cat allergies in it. And then I'm just going to scroll, okay? And if you type in a pain point like tired of back pain, tired of neck pain, tired of acne, tired of snoring, tired of your jawline sagging, I don't know, any pain point that you throw in is generally going to lead you to a bunch of different brands, and eventually just through like scrolling naturally, you're going to come across an advertorial. All right? Sooner or later, you're going to come across an advertorial. So what you're going to do then is you're going to click on this advertorial, okay? Confirm, first of all, that you're looking at an actual advertorial. And then what we're going to do is use this Chrome extension called SimilarWeb, because we want to see how much traffic is this brand generating. And generally, when you're doing this method, you don't want to be copying anybody that's doing less than, I would say, like 100 to 200,000. Like 100,000 sessions is the absolute bare minimum. Any brand doing less than 100,000 sessions is typically either not scaling, or they're doing insufficient revenue for us to be able to say that they're successful, right? We can't really say with certainty a brand that's doing 100,000 sessions is killing it. But if a brand's doing like 500,000 sessions, we know absolutely 100% these guys are crushing multiple 6, if not 7-figure months. So the next step is, what's really handy with Get Hooked is that if you save a brand and you track them inside of Brand Spy, okay, you can also see the most used landing pages. So you can see of their total ad library, what percentage of the ads are being sent to which specific landing pages. And what we want to do is double check and make sure that whatever advertorial we're looking at on this page is also ideally in the top 1 to 2 pages of their most used landing pages. Because the last thing you want to do is go for a page that's only being used, like for example, this page right here is only being used in 8 ads, and that means it's being used less than 1% of the time. So this particular page is not one that I would want to copy, which is why it's not enough for you to just grab this on SimilarWeb and be like, oh, this thing's killing it, right? And maybe that happens to you guys because it used to happen to me. I would see an advertorial, add it to my swipe file. I think it's killing it just because I check the SimilarWeb traffic and it shows that it's trending up and it's above 100,000. But in reality, this is a page that these guys are only sending 8 ads to, and it's being used less than 1% of the time. So there's a low probability that this advertorial is converting if it's being used less than 1% of the time. Now, conversely, there's probably a significantly higher probability that this advertorial is converting. It looks like the main difference here is on the image. And this advertorial is converting purely based on the fact that these are the top 2 pages. So we've got 61% of traffic here and then 24% of traffic here. So we're going to take one of these 2 advertorials. Let's go with, man, I'm surprised how many, how long these guys' paragraphs are. They don't use like any subheadlines. Anyways, what we're going to do is we're going to use another Chrome extension here, which is called right here. It's called Go Full Page Screen Capture. Okay, we're going to now capture this. And what this is doing is basically taking a huge ass screenshot. So if you ever use like link to PDF, this is basically the equivalent. Okay, so that's step 1. We have found an advertorial, ideally one in your niche, but it doesn't even really need to be in your niche. We just want at least one advertorial that's working correctly. We've validated that this brand is driving sufficient traffic on SimilarWeb to prove that they are converting well and scaling successfully. And then lastly, we've double checked and verified that the landing page that we found the brand through is also one of their top used landing pages in their ad account, which indicates to us that if it's the most used landing page or one of the most used landing pages, that they're sending the majority of that traffic that we found on SimilarWeb to this page, and for a good reason, because it's probably converting. So at the end of step 1, you now have a screenshot or a PDF download of a high converting advertorial from a brand that's doing at least 100,000, multiple 6 figures, if not 7 figures a month. Next step is we're going to bring this into Claude. Now really quick, what I've done is just simply attached the advertorial here as an attachment, obviously. And we're going to wait for this, and then I'm going to enter in a very, very simple prompt here. All right, so I just entered in a very simple prompt. This is a high converting advertorial from a brand, and then I just put the brand name. And all I wanted to do is analyze this advertorial and break this down into a simple, repeatable framework, creating a detailed outline of its structure and length and all mechanisms that lead it to convert so well. Then we throw this on the Sonnet 4.5 model, and then we go ahead and press enter, and then we just let this cook. Okay, as you can see, now it has broken down the entire advertorial into a very repeatable framework. So it's given us the structure and length, and then it's broken down very specifically, each section of text rather, broken down into this framework and outline. So we have the headline, story opening, escalation, or agitation. Then we get to like the peak of the agitation. Yeah, as you can see here, problem agitation. And then they introduce some failed solutions. They're going to do the product discovery, product intro, blah, blah, blah. So this is the entire, basically that high converting advertorial that we just found. This is how it's written. Okay. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to now, for any given product, and I just found this product really quick. This is a grass-fed beef whipped tallow bomb. So tallow products have been around like for quite some time now. They've been trending for quite a while in the dropshipping / e-com space. So what I'm going to do is basically just say, take a screenshot of this, and you can replace this with your product information. Obviously, I'm just doing this so I can keep the video not super long. But let's go ahead and just drop that in. And now all we need to do is simply say, all right, and now for the grand finale, all we're going to do is basically just say, this is my product. Can you please write an advertorial for this specific product using this framework? And then all we're going to include is any additional information that you want to orient the advertorial towards. So I just put here the mass desire. Let's go ahead and go like this. Mass desire, eliminate wrinkles so I feel attractive again. Awareness level, solution aware. And we go ahead and press enter. Damn, that headline is crazy good. How the 62-year-old grandmother erased her deepest wrinkles in just 3 weeks without Botox, fillers, or a single doctor's visit. So immediately, because it's solution aware, we're going to call out those things in the headline because we already have the understanding that if someone's solution aware, they're aware of the problem, they're aware of solutions, they're just not aware of our product specifically as a solution yet. Maybe they've heard of it, especially for something like this, a product like this, where every person, every woman on the planet knows what skincare products are. They know what anti-aging creams are, but maybe they haven't heard of whipped tallow specifically. Maybe they've heard of tallow, but not whipped tallow. So that's a situation where we're going to introduce those failed solutions that we know the audience has heard of, And we're going to specifically say how you can achieve a certain outcome, or in this case, a certain mass desire, without those failed solutions. Okay. And again, what we're focused on here is the desire to eliminate wrinkles. That is the surface level logical desire. And then the feeling attractive, again, is the deeper psychological, emotional desire. Or in other words, this is what people will tell you they want. This is what they actually want. And as you can see, it has written the entire advertorial in accordance with the original Claude structure that we had here. I think the only changes that I just noted that it made was that it added some subheadlines, which honestly, I probably would add just because this is a lot of text to be going without a single subheadline. And so let's scroll through. We have the moment everything changed, right? And then we have the $8,000 mistake she almost made. So this is like the emotional problem. I couldn't bear to see myself looking so aged. She admits my husband and I look beautiful, but I could see the concern in his eyes. I wasn't imagining this. So we're playing to that insecurity of like not feeling attractive or looking attractive to your partner. Then we have the $8,000 mistake. This is where we introduce all of those failed solutions. This is where typically the relatability comes in. This is the I tried everything to get it to work, right? Like if I was selling a dropshipping course or a dropshipping product, I would say at this stage, like she tried everything. She tried ripping content. She tried Calo data. She tried $8,000 mentorships. That is the equivalent for this product and what's happening here. Then we get into some more failed solutions. Then we're going to go into the product discovery section. And by the way, if you're writing a product discovery section, I'll tell you right now, especially for the older audiences, the best product discoveries are written from the standpoint of someone who discovered the product through a friend. I don't know why, but these older audiences, they love hearing that a friend recommended it or word of mouth. I guess maybe it's just old school. Like you don't want to say, oh, I discovered it through searching online. Pretty much any advertorial that I have that's scaling properly is using some type of like friend recommendation or friend discovery for the product introduction. Just probably sounds more organic to the eyes of our audience, right? Then we go into the science behind the product. We're basically talking about the benefits because now we've gone through the product discovery. Then we're going to get into the results. Here's the transformation week by week. Okay. And then we get into the reviews. This is where we start to get into the close. Then we're going to go into, let's go all the way down. Yep. Now we get into the close. So we've gone through a lot of social proof. We get into the close. How much does it cost? Where can I get it now? And then we introduce them to the offer. Okay. So let's go ahead and grab this. Okay, so in about 15, 20 minutes, we now have a fully built advertorial using the exact framework of a high converting advertorial that we have proven beyond a reasonable doubt that is converting well. And now we basically have a template for all future advertorials. So what I would do is basically, if this actually did match the desired angle awareness level that I wanted to target, and it was written to my specific avatar, then I would go ahead and test this. And then for future advertorials, I now have a repeatable framework and outline that I can use if I want to test a new angle with the advertorial. Meaning, if I want to test a new angle, I'm going to use this exact specific format, meaning I'm going to have the headline like this. I'm going to have this text section. I'm going to have a subheadline right after, and then this section, then a subheadline right after. And if I was testing a new angle, a new awareness level, I would simply change these elements to match whatever that angle or awareness level is. So the messaging, but I would keep the actual framework and structure the exact same. And that is one of the most common issues that I see a lot of beginners make is when they want to test a new advertorial, they'll just completely change the format or they'll completely change the structure. It's like what you want to do is identify a really high converting structure that works well for your business and your brand. And then from there, just rinse and repeat it. That's the whole point of having systems, having frameworks, is so you can repeat them. So that way, when you go to test messaging, you know you're doing it with something that's proven. And if you get a difference in performance, it's because of the messaging. So guys, that is going to do it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed the content. As always, if you did, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. As usual, drop a comment. Let me know what kinds of videos and things you're struggling with next. I was getting a lot of requests on X and in the comment section as well about advertorials specifically. And honestly, this is probably my most used method for writing advertorials. I do have prompts to generate them from scratch, but typically what I'll do is I'll get a framework or a structure from my swipe file in a niche that I'm working in. Or if I just find one on a spy tool that's working really well, have Claude analyze it for a framework and outline, and then use that framework and outline and inject my messaging into it. Ideally, you already have some type of desired angle and awareness level that you can use with it. So yeah, let me know in the comments what kinds of videos you want to see next. Again, I'm trying to upload very frequently. I've obviously missed a few days, but I'm trying to upload at least once every day, which is a lot of videos, so I need content ideas. And the easiest way to do that is to let me know what you guys are struggling with, what problems you're facing, so I can make content on it and give you guys that value and feedback. As always, any and all prompts and resources that I have are available, linked for free in the description, including all the prompts that I use for generating ads, generating copy, long form copy, all that stuff is linked in the description. And I will see you in the next one. Peace.